You're born in the middle of a swampy riverbank, surrounded by 6 other wet, squealing potatoes that happen to be your siblings. You're blind, clumsy, and already being stepped on. Welcome to life as a capybara, the world's largest rodent and quite possibly its most underestimated punchline. From day one, your biggest flex is floating. That's it. You can kind of paddle and hope no caiman notices. Oh, and your mom? She's already halfway into the bushes, pretending she didn't just drop 7 bite-sized snacks into piranha country. Because being a capybara mom means multitasking between grazing, fleeing, and hoping Darwin's theory skips a few kids this time. And let's not forget, you're delicious. To everything. Jaguars, anacondas, vultures, stray dogs, even humans with exotic pet obsessions. You're not on the food chain. You're the buffet. So you lie there, soaked, shivering, wondering why your ancestors ever thought being chill was a survival strategy. By the end of your first week, you've already dodged a snake, outswam a snapping turtle, and narrowly avoided becoming bird poop with eyes. Not bad for a living loaf of bread, but don't celebrate yet. You're just getting started. Your family? A walking crowd of brown, semi-aquatic stress balls. You move together, eat together, and run from literally everything together. There's no alpha, no plan, just panic and pack formation. And when one capybara bolts, the rest follow. No questions asked, no idea why. It could be a jaguar, or just a falling mango. Doesn't matter. You run like your chubby little life depends on it, because usually it does. Even your naps aren't safe. You're half asleep in muddy water, ears twitching, nose twitching, heart racing. Every leaf that rustles might be the last thing you hear. Relaxation is a luxury reserved for animals not made of protein and fear. Still think capybaras are chill? Try sleeping with one eye open while mosquitoes treat your face like a buffet. Welcome to Zen under pressure. Week 3, you're slightly bigger, slightly bolder, and just smart enough to realize you're not actually safe anywhere. You spend your days chewing grass, dodging predators, and pretending you're not a giant hamster with a target on your back. You've learned to freeze when you hear a twig snap, not because you're brave, but because you hope the jaguar wants someone crunchier. And here's the fun part. You're expected to babysit now. That's right. Capybara society works like a furry daycare. Everybody's watching somebody else's kids. And if your cousin decides to wander off toward the water alone, congrats, that's your problem now. Screw up once, and the whole group blames you like a failed group project. Still, you keep moving, chewing, dodging, because staying still too long means you become a statistic, another furry footnote in the food chain. But hey, if you're loving this brutal rodent reality, don't be a silent capybara. Smash that subscribe button and ring the bell. Unlike predators, we do come back for more. Fast forward a few weeks. You've survived this long, so clearly you're doing something right. Or you're just really good at hiding. Either way, the jungle doesn't care. You're still lunch on legs, and danger now comes with sharper teeth and better strategy. You've mastered the art of pretending you didn't hear that splash behind you. Maybe it's just a fish. Maybe it's a crocodile. Either way, running makes noise, and noise attracts company. So you freeze, nostrils flaring, ears twitching, brain begging the water not to ripple again. At this point, even eating feels like a gamble. That sweet patch of grass on the other side of the river could be your last snack ever. But you go anyway, because in the capybara world, hesitation kills slower than hunger. You're not thriving. You're enduring. Every step forward is a compromise between instinct and dumb luck. And yet, everyone around you pretends like this is just normal life. Because being a capybara doesn't mean being brave. It means being quiet, watchful, and ready to run. Always. Everyone thinks capybaras are peaceful, floating in ponds, eyes half closed, like enlightened sages of the swamp. But what they don't see is the constant mental math behind every blink. That heron standing beside you? Probably fine. But what if it's a decoy for something that's already stalking you from the trees? Your heart rate never really drops. You chew grass like a stress ball with legs. Your only defense mechanism? Be around someone slower than you. That's the trick. You don't need to be fast, just not last. Then there's the weather. Rainstorms turn your calm little paradise into a flood zone. You can swim, sure, but so can the things that eat you. You find yourself drifting, trying not to look like a drowning rat, while vines, insects, and random sticks tangle around your legs like nature's version of a practical joke. Still, no one sees this. To the outside world, you're a meme, a chill, serene symbol of no worries. If only they knew you're one jump scare away from a heart attack on any given Tuesday. You're finally reaching adulthood, which sounds great until you realize what that actually means. Now you're expected to mate, defend territory, and somehow not die in the process. It's not a promotion. It's a death sentence in slow motion. Dominant males, constantly stressed, always posturing, marking, chasing rivals, getting bit. And if you're not dominant, well, good luck getting anywhere near a female without being chased off like you just insulted his entire bloodline. And don't think the females have it easier. They're constantly harassed by every overconfident, mud-covered fuzzball that thinks he's the one. The only peace comes in the water, if you're lucky, and even then, it's crowded. Meanwhile, predators haven't forgotten about you. You might be bigger now, but that just makes you a juicier target. Jaguars, pythons, even humans with too much time and a hunting license, you're still on the menu. So yeah, being grown doesn't mean you've made it. It just means now you get to die tired. At this point, you've survived floods, predators, mating drama, and the occasional idiot tourist trying to pet you. You'd think life would throw you a break, but nah. Now comes disease, parasites, and the slow grind of aging in a world that doesn't care how long you've lasted. Your joints ache from running through mud every time a leaf falls too loudly. Ticks, constant companions. Leeches, part of the spa package. Even your teeth betray you. Capybaras have ever-growing teeth. Forget to grind them down properly, and congratulations, you've got a dental death sentence. And the group? It's changed. Younger capybaras are faster, louder, dumber. They splash too much, attract attention, and think the jungle is a playground. You want to yell at them, but that would give away your hiding spot. You've learned to stay quiet. You've learned to vanish, not because you're wise, but because you're tired. Tired of always scanning, always running, always pretending your peaceful expression isn't just really good acting. By now, you've mastered survival. Not because you're fearless, but because fear is just background noise. You know every hiding spot along the riverbank. You can sense danger by the way the wind shifts. You move like a ghost among reeds, unseen but constantly watching. And yet, it never ends. Every day is a rerun of the same exhausting plot. Wake up, chew, run, hide, repeat. Sometimes you catch a break, a sunny afternoon, still water, no threats in sight. But even then, you don't relax. You can't, because peace in your world isn't a gift, it's bait. You watch your friends disappear one by one, a cousin taken by a caiman, an elder who just stopped waking up. The group doesn't mourn. They shuffle, they move on, they chew louder. Because in the wild, grief gets you noticed, and getting noticed gets you killed. So you stay silent, not because you're numb, but because staying quiet is the only thing that's ever kept you alive. You're not just surviving anymore, you're fading, intentionally. You've made it to what they call old age, which for a capybara basically means you're still breathing and haven't been eaten yet. Your fur is duller, your steps are slower, but your instincts, razor sharp. You see things before they happen now. Danger doesn't surprise you, it bores you. You stop running as much, not because you're brave, because you've learned the odds. You calculate. If the jaguar hasn't moved by now, it's not hunting you. If the water ripples right, you float. If not, you vanish. You've become a pattern, a quiet variable in a brutal ecosystem. Other capybaras look at you with a weird kind of respect, or maybe fear. You're the one who saw 3 floods, escaped 4 pythons, and still knows where the tastiest plants grow. But you don't brag. You don't need to. Survival has a way of silencing ego. You're not peaceful because you chose peace. You're peaceful because you've fought everything else and nothing was worth the noise. You've become exactly what nature demanded, efficient, quiet, unremarkable, and yet, somehow, still here. And now you sit, half submerged in the same muddy water you were born into. The world has changed around you, but your routine hasn't. Chew, listen, float, repeat. You're not afraid anymore, not because the fear left, but because you've made peace with it. You watch the young ones, loud, clumsy, full of hope. They remind you of yourself, once, always moving, always panicking, thinking the world is something to be conquered. You want to warn them, but you don't. They won't listen. They'll learn, like you did, one jaguar at a time. Your greatest achievement? Still being here, not because you fought harder, but because you learned when not to fight. You became a shadow, a rumor, a capybara too quiet to die. And maybe that's the real reason it sucks to be born as a capybara. Not because it's hard, but because the only way to win is to disappear. Now tell me, if you had to live this life, could you survive by doing nothing loud enough? Drop your thoughts in the comments, if you're still floating.